Ladies and gentlemen, New Truth. Oh my God, Chocolate. Man, the dude, hey, listen, my homeboy Truth is putting out an album. I play new records from that album every week. Listen, we're about to drop the link in one day. I'm going to come back tomorrow with the link for the Truth album. That's his latest record. It's called Chocolate, in homage of dark-skinned sisters to say, you're the mother of us all and we love you, man. And I appreciate the brother doing that record. That was an incredible record. Truth's album is going to be on fire. Whew, I cannot tell you how excited I am about it. Listen, you know we got a crazy topic today, and as is commonplace, before we even get into our topics, we like to promote businesses. Right in front of me, WeJuice. I need you to go to WeJuice.com right now. WeJuice.com. This brother has a 20% discount for all So What listeners. You go to WeJuice.com. This dude prepares this juice and gets it out to you ASAP. He's going to give you a discount if you're a fan and a listener of the So What Morning Show. Very important that we support black business and recycle black dollars. My man, Hassan Kareem, that brother is cool right there. He takes care of us every week with the We Juices. Also, I need you to go support this movie called Circles. It's an incredible video about the dangers of HIV in the black community. You got to support it. Big time movie. Go find it on Amazon. Google it. Circles. Incredible film. You got to support. No question, you got to support Bobby Glanton-Smith. We know him as Uncle Bobby. Support Bobby. Get his book, Real Men Don't Play. This is the truth because we don't. Real men don't play. Also, you know who it is. Dr. Mark Goulston. This brother just wrote the foreword for my book. He'll be on the show in a moment. Dr. Mark Goulston, Just Listen, a book about listening as the most important component of communication. Psychiatrist, psychologist, international best-selling author, Just Listen. Very great book. Also, I need you to support all of these businesses. Easy Boy Web. If you go to my website, IamZoeWilliams.com. Easy Boy Web did my website. This is a group of brothers out of Atlanta. All of your website needs, your social media needs, these brothers will take care of it. Please support. Ramo Mart, the Egyptian-styled clothing that this high-end fashion designer, this brother was just out here for the Grammys. He designed all of the gear that Madonna wore and her dancers. He designed all of it. This stuff is incredible. Listen, in 2 weeks, I'm going to debut a piece from his high-end clothing line, and you're going to understand that he's not just T-shirts. This dude is incredible. He just redesigned his website. Go to ramomart.com. That's ramomart.com. Support this brother's movement. Also, who else we got? We got all types of folks that need to be supported. Hip Loose. I'm wearing a piece from my line called The Line of Succession. This is my jacket. Says Zoe Williams on the inside here. You know, fully tailored, cut bespoke. These brothers are incredible. Please continue to support PharaonicDesigns.com. Right? I need you guys to support them as well. And, they have all types of T-shirts, and just go to their website, PharaonicDesigns.com. Got a lot of T-shirts, a lot of good stuff. Black Mastery. Veronica Conway. As a matter of fact, Veronica Conway is online right now. Let's get Veronica in here. Veronica!
Hey, Zoe. Happy Black Mastery Month.
Happy Black Mastery Month.
It ain't about our history or his story. It's about our mastery, right?
Yeah.
So, for Black Mastery Month, I'm doing a series of free trainings around my favorite topics, money, sex, and power. Because money, sex, and power are the ultimate currencies.
Yep.
And if we don't have those handled, then we ain't handled. So if you want to sign up for some free trainings and get the notification, you can go to theblackpaper.com. That's theblackpaper.com. And I will notify you of those trainings.
Absolutely. Veronica Conway, stay on the line. You will be on the show in a moment. Today's topic is crazy. Oh my God, we're going to have a ball. It's going to be bananas. I still got a few businesses to support. Via Skin Science by model turned professional photographer Rita G. Glanberry L. Go to oh wow, there's Rita G. Jesus, okay. That's how you distract me. That's how that'll work. ViaSkinScience.com. Please go there and support her movement as well. Oh, Elephant. Put up Elephant's website right now. If you like polo, right? If you like polo, these brothers out of New York do the same high-end quality gear as polo with their own unique voice and flavor. A lot of people rocking their stuff, from James Harden to Angela Simmons. A lot of people rocking their stuff out of New York. High-end, collegiate look, very clean. Like I said, very Ralph Lauren, but black. Y'all got to support these brothers. Go cash mob them right now. Now, my last thing that I'm going to promote, and then we're taking a quick break. You got to go to Indiegogo and support the So What Indiegogo production relationship dismount tour, as well as pay-per-view documentary. I'm doing a documentary about the child support industry, the family court industry that rapes and robs fathers unjustly. We're trying to raise $65,000 in 60 days. I'm also trying to put together a relationship dismount book tour where I come to selected cities and do relationship seminars based on the new book I'm about to drop called The Relationship Dismount: How to Stick the Landing When Leaving a Negative Relationship. Trust me, this shit is going to be off the charts. We are not playing in 2015. I need you to get to Indiegogo right now. Indiegogo.com/projects/ZWMS and Relationship Dismount Book Tour. Get there, support this movement today. You want me in your city? This is how you're going to get me there. You want to get that copy of the new book. Oh my God, when I tell you the new book is retarded, it's out of control. The Relationship Dismount. That's what we're doing. That's all the businesses I can fit in right now. When I come back, you see who's sitting to the side of me in all green? You see what we about to do right now? We about to turn up and show you how we really get down. So What Morning Show. I'll holler at you in a second. Deuces.
Bitch niggerdom is rampant in hip hop. And I saw it when that picture of Lil Wayne and Birdman kissing in public. And this generation of fans who like Lil Wayne, when you niggas excuse that, that showed me where y'all are at. That showed me where your generation is. Y'all have sold the fuck out. Okay? You have sold any dude that, because I remember posting this on Truthpaste before, and dudes argued with me. Their argument for Lil Wayne and Birdman kissing is that we should knock them because they got money. Let me tell you, brothers who use the money argument in that situation. When you use money to defend gayness, you just showed you can be bought. Okay? That tells me you'd suck a dick for $1 million if the situation was presented to you properly.
Okay? Now, the first simp that we're going to talk about is the pathetic simp. Now, the pathetic simp is similar to a pathetic drunk who will drown himself in sorrow after tossing back a few shots of liquor, except the pathetic simp doesn't need any alcohol, drugs, or intoxicants of any nature because his woman is the depressant that is keeping him immersed in pain. We're going to shine some light on is the old school simp. And old school simps really aren't simps. What they are is old school players who have graduated to another level of the game. And what they do is they use the simp position to stay in the good graces of the ladies so they can remain relevant and up to date.
That we wanted all single ladies. Throw your hands up. How y'all doing?
His initial reaction?
All y'all fine. Hell, who don't want to go out with y'all?
Me and my age have made a mistake in that we didn't teach the generation behind us the principles of manhood.
There are so many African American men missing, absent in the family.
His advice? Go for the older man.
You have a biological clock. We don't.
The old school simp is constantly checking younger players to get the females rooting for them. You find many of these men sitting on your pulpit every Sunday, chastising every man in the community, while women are busy fanning themselves off and yelling hallelujah. Simp number 3 is the sport coat. And sport coat is a term we used back in the day to describe these brothers who are always looking to catch another player slacking up on his pimping so they could drape their coat over his woman's shoulders and play the concerned gentleman who cared about her feelings. Sport coats live to be the rebound guy, making easy buckets off the glass after you miss the free throw. And I'll give you a good example of this. Had an incident in college where this brother waited for me to leave for the summer just so he could sport coat my ex-girl. And even though she and I weren't talking to each other or anything by that point, we did decide to, just be mutual friends and see if our flames could be rekindled once the school year picked back up in the fall. The day I left to go back for the summer, I saw this brother watching me as I was driving off, and I got an eerie feeling at that moment because it felt like he was a buzzard circling over my head, waiting for my ex to pass out from heat exhaustion.
Why is a white guy like me co-hosting a black radio show? I think toxic relationships cause you to take poor care of yourself. That if you can recognize danger, if you can pause, if you can take some breaths, refocus, and engage, you might be able to dodge a bullet that you're going to send coming towards you. One of the things that men don't get is that often women need to vent first to clear their mind. So I got a different angle on this Simp'n thing, so I'm going to take it to left field, but you're going to have to bring it back to center.
You know what Simp'n means?
You told me before the show. I mean, I'm your ignorant white guy on the show, but you sort of taught me well. Here's another angle. How many men do you think feel down deep, some core level that they are supposed to protect women in their life? Would you say that that's a part of maleness? Would you say
of course.
Yeah. Okay, so I think one of the reasons some men are simping to women is because when women frustrate the hell out of you and you want to put their head through the frickin' wall and abuse them, it starts to create a conflict in you if you're sworn to protect them. And so what happens is there's something, you'll know it from Shakespeare, the lady doth protest too much. It's like sometimes Simp'n men are being nice to the women because what they're thinking is, if she makes me any more angry, I'm going to become that abusive dad that I had that I swore I would never be to a woman. And so sometimes women so infuriate you that you're nice to them just to get away from them and the desire to beat the heck out of them.
Uh-oh. There's your setup.
Yeah.
Here we go. Today's topic. And you know how we do. We always got to preface these topics in this way. If America is sick,
black folks got AIDS.
Black folks got AIDS. If American culture is polluted,
black folks got doo-doo water in their cereal.
So we got to come from this angle.
Yeah.
The black male woman hating show. An in-depth look at the philosophy of Simp'n. Can we even say Simp'n is female hating? Somebody call us at 855-878-4652.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we got an Urban Dictionary definition of Simp'n. To simp, tricking, groveling, it's a verb. Or basically just letting females walk all over you for no apparent reason other than your own bitch-assness. That's kind of tough, right? That's what the Urban Dictionary says simping is. We got questions. In what way, if any, are the white knight syndrome / Captain Save 'em, right, is simping related? Are these related? White knight, Captain Save a Ho, is that a related kind of syndrome? Somebody call us at 855-878-4652. As is commonplace, tweet me at Zoe Williams, and what we'll be doing is responding to your tweets and mentioning your tweets. Call us, 855-878-4652. We got questions. Is there a major difference between chivalry, being supportive, protection, and what is commonly known as simping? Is there a difference? And here's a bigger question. Are there two distinct grades of women that deserve protection? Like, for instance, you see a good, fine, upstanding woman, say a Claire Huxtable type. Is she deserving of protection? Is she deserving even of simping? Versus the ratchet 37 kids by 37 different baby daddies. Is she deserving or non-deserving of what is considered simping? Who gets to get simped to and who shouldn't? Somebody call us at 855-878-4652. Is Malcolm X's words, prophetic words from back in the day, are they still relevant? When he said, the most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. Are those words still relevant for today? And how does simping infect our woman's mentality or our men's mentality? Are simps born to single mothers? Jesus. 855-878-4652. 878-4652 is the number to dial. I got one more question and then we're good. Do black men subconsciously desire to mistreat black women because white men have mistreated her so much historically? And now she has been programmed to submit to him and not to us? God damn, that's a tough question. 855-878-4652. Who wants to participate? We got people in the building. We got guests on Skype. My brother, Nityama, joins us yet again.
Back with the Earth, Wind, and Fire Fro.
Yeah!
Nityama.
Far East White Stunt Double. Hey.
Nityama is in the building with us. Go to nityama.com. He also has a DVD available. We're gonna promote his DVD as well. Not only is Nityama with us, the great sister, Angela, joins us for the third week running, as well as Nityama.
She's great.
She's going to speak to this, because I think there's this movement of brothers, and it's not all brothers, some but not all. There's this movement of brothers that seemingly hate sisters, and every time you stand up and support a sister, you get called a simp. Let's deal with that. Not only do we have Angela in the building, Angela, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you, sister. We're going to promote all your books and everything, right? We're going to get to that in a second. We also have Veronica Conway. She'll be joining us as well, right? Veronica, you there? VC. We'll get to Veronica, don't worry. Dr. Mark Goulston, Bobby Glanton-Smith, Geoff Brown, and let me tell you, legendary church is in the building.
What?
Don Magic Bishop Don Juan has joined the show. Welcome, my brother. Thank you.
Hey, Church Priest Tabernacle. Just glad to be in the place with the land of the living. Y'all got a great topic, but I'm sure sometime during this topic we're going to clarify this simping with pimping, because it don't clarify with this square life. So they got it misconstrued, and we'll straighten it out.
There we go. Now, see, that's why we here like that.
Legend.
So let's talk about it. Can we just get right to it? Okay. What is a workable definition for simping? Let's go to the master on this topic, and then we're going to bounce to Nityama.
Yeah.
My brother?
First, let me clarify. Simping go with pimping. It's just the reverse psychologist of what the gang be jumping. What I mean is, it's part of the pimp gang, so I don't think it should be classed with black women's here, black women's there, black women's there. You know, it's in the form of pimping. So if it's connected with pimping, then it should be said simping. Simping means somebody is half doing they pimping. That's what simping means. Somebody that's not really doing their job. I mean, it's a criteria to pimping. And when you simping, that means you're not fully doing the criteria. As far as your cars, your clothes, your jewelry, your home, your woman, all these things should be intact as far as pimping. And if they're not intact, then you're considered simping because you're not 100, you're 50%.
Wow. Now what's cold about what he just said, years ago I had another pimp on the phone, on the line. His name was Pimpin' Ken. Pimpin' Ken wrote a book called The 48 Laws of Pimpology. Go get that. Produced by, it was published by Karen Hunter and Simon Schuster. 48 Laws of Pimpology. And what he did was he said, pimping ain't just for the game, it's for the game of life. Right? So you simping if you ain't pimped your life. Right? And hey, listen, I'm not perfect. There have been moments in my life where I done simped my life.
Yeah.
Right? Because I ain't been like Bishop just said, 100. I was more 50%.
Yeah.
And that's in every aspect of my life. And now you got to remember, life is full of ebbs and flows. Sometimes you simping the game, then other times you pimping the game. But the thing is, you got to learn how to adjust in any situation that manifests itself. So, taking it off women, let's get back into Nityama. Nityama, we talked about the spiritual pimp. What is spiritual pimping?
Spiritual pimping is when an individual understands that there are major laws that are governing everything that's going on the planet. And you are 100, just like the brother was saying, you 100% in total congruence with those laws. And especially when it comes to interacting with women, you never compromise. It's no compromise at the highest level. So a woman can never come to me out of line. She's got to come to me straight. She's got to come to me having accountability for whatever we got going on. She can't bring me no excuses for her total haphazardness. She's got to come to me straight. And I want her to give me a straight accountability for what she's doing. I will in no way accept anything else. And it has to be in alignment with the laws that govern the universe, because I am a representative of the laws that govern the universe. That's the difference between a God man and a Rudy Poot man.
So listen, I'm going to go in even deeper. Thank you for that, Nityama. I've always told people that I've interacted with, and before I go into any further, we're going to take a break after I make this statement. Women have always got down with me because of me. Not because of what I had, but because of me, who I am, what I am. Do you understand? They ain't never got down with me because of what I had, right? So I've never been in a position to have to simp.
You ain't never done no parking lot pimping?
I never done no parking lot pimping. You know why?
Yeah.
Because I've always been comfortable with me.
Macking on the bus.
Speak on it.
Yeah, well, see, one thing about it is guys got to understand this part of life. If you really want to see if a woman really care, a lot of guys, have that opportunity to say women care about me, is because they never put the pressure on a woman. Now, if you really want to see if a woman really do care about you, you ask her to do something she don't normally do, like give you some money.
Uh-oh.
Come on.
Uh-oh.
Now, if you really want to see if she care,
we come back.
Because everything else she do with every other guy. do something different, like give me your money. And she ain't gonna do that with every other guy unless she really like you. Now that's the way to find out if you got true love.
Now listen, when we come back, we're going to deal with that. We're going to deal with that because some men out there, some people would say it's not manlike to accept money from a woman. When we come back, 855-878-4652, it's going down! Simp'n! That's what we're going to cover. I'll be back!
A whole nother people. When we got to America, we didn't know that they had these things called sex farms. And on these farms, a grown white males would come, and they could purchase our women. So they would come, and our women would be used like merchandise. And they could come up and fill our women where they had no sense of their bodies and no ability to protect themselves. And they would always get a black male who was effeminized. No longer does he see himself as the protector of the black woman. And he would go around and say, hey, look what I got. Almost like a mannequin. Look, you want this type? Look what she got available for you. That's right. Oh, these are the kind of things she does. Oh, do you want this one? Oh, do you want this one? Yeah. These are the type of things they did to us when we had no control over our own bodies. No control over what we did. And a black man didn't exist in the way he existed at home, where we protected our women and our children. No, we had to sit by on a day-to-day basis and watch them totally humiliate us. But not only did we watch them humiliate us, we had to participate in our own destruction and humiliation. So we began to covet these type of jobs where we could go around and show our women off. We began to take joy in doing them because we didn't feel that there was anything left. And so we were made into monsters. Yes, sir. But you know, the white male, the women, you know, the women is cool that he could come about women, but he likes things a little different. That's not really his taste. If it's going to be a female, he would prefer a little girl. We talked about his development in the caves and hills of Europe. So they had sections of the sex farm with just little girls between the ages of 8 and 18. Right. And they would dress the little girls in scantily dressed clothing and make the little girls dance around and gyrate. And while they would tell them to shake their behinds, and they would always have the most well-dressed black male on the sex farm. He had his high hat and his suit. He was the best-dressed brother in the place. And he would stand there with the sisters and he would gyrate while these little girls would gyrate and show their bodies off for these grown white males to come and purchase them.
Yes, Aunt Jemima, and I guess we all want to be happy. Smiling, happy Aunt Jemima. Smiling, happy Aunt Jemima. Famous for secret recipe pancakes, waffles, and buckwheat. What's a good word, Aunt Jemima? Well, Mr. Lyon Folks says there's nothing so pretty as a happy face and nothing so worthwhile as a happy life. Yes, Aunt Jemima, that is true. Smiling, happy Aunt Jemima. Famous for those secret recipe pancakes, waffles, and buckwheat. Seems to me you're just bursting with one of your happy sayings. Well, I is, Mr. Donald. The old folks, they says you double your own happiness when you share it with other folks. And now, Aunt Jemima, one of your old plantation sayings, if you will. It's a pleasure, folks, to remind y'all that the Lord meant for the sky to be blue. But if the day is blue, it's probably our fault. True, Aunt Jemima, true. Have you got a template, 10 lines, old plantation?
I know it's tough. I know it's graphic. But from abuse to employment, from 1635, being exposed to the depravity, you understand what I'm saying? Till now, 2015, that's a gig. Did the black man learn how to pimp his woman from watching the white man do it? 855-878-4652. We got to talk about it. I know you don't want to fucking talk about it, but I want to talk about it.
Well, myself, I always think that the pimp always had a jump on the white man because, see, one thing about the intelligence of the black man is when the black woman was going over to the house, the black man always encouraged her to bring the leftovers back to the cabin. So it was a form of early pimping in.
Wow. Wow. Jeff, Mark, Bobby?
I'm left speechless by what I just saw. I think I can't speak so much to pimping, which is odd because I'm from Chicago, but I don't have to. I got pimp number one to my right. Simp'n is what really is them dudes to me suffer from something I like to call OPC syndrome, which is outside pussy chance syndrome.
Meaning?
You got dudes who will wash a woman's car, paint a woman's house, do her electrical, pay her bills, watch her kids on the outside chance that maybe, just maybe, she gonna give them some. That's the true simp.
Being manipulated, just, doing everything.
On the just hoping, out there hoping.
As I explained to Dr.
While the dude come through, while other dude come through with, the 6-pack. Hey, player, when you get through with her car, do mine.
Normally, what kind of dude does that? Because Corey Holcomb will say, if a nigga got a ponytail and he light-skinned, he ain't really got to work for it like that.
Well,
what kind of dude finds himself, jumping through hoops and becoming a motherfucking trained pet?
Beta males.
Beta males.
Beta males. I know some dudes as ugly as work boots that can't keep women off with a taser and a riot shield.
Right.
Because they confident and they ain't walking up, excuse me, I was wondering, no, they come right at it. Look, this is what's up. And women respond to that.
Right.
Women,
a level of confidence.
How many shy, unconfident pimps do you know?
None. And let me ask you
Can't
this.
get it done.
Let me ask you this. Isn't one of the more difficult things to do is teach a man how to be confident in who he is? Because a lot of times when he's not confident in who he is, he has to accumulate all types of other bullshit around him in order to draw a woman into him. Bobby?
If it ain't done by the time he 8, it's too damn late.
Rapping. Bobby?
I've had the opportunity to be around quote-unquote pimps and hustlers and players most of my life. And I don't want to confuse the conversation of we're having now with the definition of a man.
Speak on it.
A man has the ability to discern what's fair between a man and a woman. And something the brother said a minute ago kind of caught me between hairs in a sense, because I don't think historically that the brothers encouraged the sisters to bring the food home. The sisters knew intuitively that if she didn't bring it home, he'd go get some food and they would cut his head off. That type of conditioning is different from justifying putting a woman in a position where she has to do for a man what a man should be able to do for himself.
Speak on it.
And there's a fine line in between. I'm not saying that a man should not tax a woman, but it's not really a tax, it's a fair exchange. Whatever you're willing to do for her, she should be willing to do for you, but not as a part of a conditioning. Because once you start that road, there's no reversing. Because I sit here, I only have a son, but I have nieces.
Right.
And I've always asked myself, would I want somebody to send my niece out to get money for them before she got money for herself?
To be on the street.
I couldn't justify that, because I've been around in my family. I got hustlers and stuff, and there was a time where I was enamored with that when I was real young, and I just couldn't pull it off, man, because I couldn't do some of the things that it required. All right. For example, I saw a brother once say, look, fuck being on your period. Go get me my money. Fuck your children, go get me my money. And I wasn't made up like that. I wasn't raised like that, and I couldn't justify that kind of behavior.
And
I still can't.
Indeed. Dr. G?
I had a thought about that video that you made us all watch. I think...
I made you?
Oh, no, you encouraged. But let me run this by you. I think what's been happening forever. I don't know if you know what the zero-sum game is. The zero-sum game means if, in order for me to win, you have to lose. And I'm wondering if a lot of, I'm certainly speaking out of race, maybe speaking out of term, but I wonder if a lot of black men, in what we saw, they felt it was a zero-sum game between them and black men, but if they could distract the men into the white men's sexuality and keep them satisfied, maybe they could keep him off that kind of zero-sum thing, and maybe it was a way of both distracting him, using women to distract the white man into his sexuality, keep him from coming after you, and then maybe make some money off it.
Wow.
Okay, back up.
Wait. We got to get Angela in here real quick before the break. And then Geoff?
Yeah.
Speak on it.
I'm itching.
Angela, you heard what the doc said. Tear that shit to pieces. Do you have something to say? Expound.
There's there's very few times where I'm speechless, and this whole dialogue so far has almost got me to that point. First of all, I will say, you know, it's hard for me to respect anybody who would disrespect my ancestors. My ancestors, when they were in survival mode, were not pimping their women. They were in survival mode. They loved each other, and they did what they had to do. But as far as that goes, no. The effeminized black men who did choose to pimp their women instead of trying to protect them didn't just do it to keep white slave masters, or whatever you want to call it, from messing with them, because they did. That was one part of the video done by my brother, Irritated Genie. But it went on from there. There wasn't just sex farms for the women. There weren't just sex farms for the little girls. The highest and noblest aspirations of white people, at least in classical times, and I would argue still today, are the little boys. That's what they're after. Ooh. And there was another farm, another section of that farm with little boys who were abused most of their life, and when they were done being abused, they were turned over to then rape their women. So this is something that has been institutionalized. It's something that has been forced upon us to the point now where a lot of our men do not know how to be men anymore, and they'll settle for being an effeminized Negro.
You have something to say?
Yeah, I want to misconstrue that something that you're saying, you know what I mean, about, you know, one thing you got to understand, it's a different day and a different age. That was back then. But
no, it's not.
and now it's more of a female and male collaboration thing. You know, you think now is you can give it away free and not get nothing, or you give it away and get paid for it. Which is the better part of that when you're looking at a crying baby?
Oh, I see what you mean. Like, say, Superhead. How Superhead, Corinne Steffens will go out and say, I'm teaching women how to get paid. They don't get a pussy away for free. They get paid for it.
Well, she was more of a manipulator, you know what I mean, playing off the system. You know, you got some of them kind of peoples here in Hollywood, you know, more or less than thinking about them people that was really supporting her, because she gave a sad story about her baby, and out in the street when, you know, different individuals was giving her money, they was more or less supporting her. I remember when IT took her in. So she was really manipulating, you know what I mean?
Wow.
She could have said, oh, them people blessed me because they knew I had children, instead of saying
wow,
it was a trick situation.
Wow, we got to take a quick break, but let me come back. Let me tell y'all, are black men wounded to the point where we view Simp'n, right, as a negative thing? When I say view Simp'n as a negative thing, to me, I think brothers are seeing Simp'n or protecting a woman as the same thing. When do we separate Simp'n from protection? When do we separate Simp'n from looking out? Sometimes we got to look out for our sisters. How do we do that without being called a simp? Is that possible? I know you got to answer. When you come back, it's going to be on you, Geoff. So What Morning Show is getting heated in this mug.
Essence. Surely God created you from a single essence and created the mate of the same. Well, what is the essence of something? According to the dictionary, the essence of a thing is the intrinsic nature or indispensable quality of that thing, especially something abstract that determines its character. Here's God now creating a human, the first human, from a single essence, and created the woman of the same. If God created us from the same essence, then what is that essence that determines our character? The essence of you is God Himself.
You and I will never be recognized as men until we stand up like men and place the same penalty over the head of anyone who puts his filthy hands out to put in the direction of our women.
We don't think like that today.
We who?
In general.
Oh, okay.
Somebody disagree with that. We don't think like that today in general. When it comes, listen, we got a culture of dudes who don't even understand what simping is. We got a culture of dudes who I mean, literally hate women. Answer the question, and then we're going to get to Angela and Nityama.
Okay.
And then Bobby.
Quickly, the difference between simping and protection falls here in the definition of a sucker. A sucker is a person who respects any person, place, or thing or construct
over
more
himself
than that person, thing, or construct respects itself or that person.
Mm-hmm.
So if I respect you more than you respect you, I'm a sucker. And that's where you get into throwing it away, as opposed to the respect and protection that a human being, an idea, a construct deserves. For the same reason I left the church, is that this construct does not respect itself, and I can't respect it more than it respects it, because now I'm a sucker. I can't do it.
Do you think one of the distinctions between simping and being protective is that when you're simping with the modern relationships, there's a fear of what the woman will do to you in terms of disrespect, but when you're protective, there's a fear of what will be done to your woman, and so you step in to say what Malcolm X did.
Angela, could you answer that question? Then Bobby, then Bishop. Nityama, we got you. Angela?
I have a hard time. Yes, as far I think that the word simping is so overused now. We use it to describe any man who cares about his woman and is in a good established relationship, and usually that is thrown on him by people who are very immature and unable to keep a relationship in order to make him feel bad about what he has in his condition. So I think it's overused. I don't think that there's a lot of simps. I think overall, you're right, a lot of black men have developed a very strong, almost homosexualized hatred towards black women, and that's something that we really need to work on.
Wow. Let Nityama hit that, and then we're going to get to Bobby, then the Bishop.
Well, first of all, there's so much confusion in the whole thing until it's just ridiculous. If you take a young boy and have him giving oral sex to Jesus in public and train him that he ought to follow Jesus, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white man, and disrespect himself for that, then you're going to create animosity inside of this boy, because you're making him hate himself in favor of Jesus.
Ooh.
So he can't have nothing but a deep down dislike for somebody that will make him hate himself and publicly chase after Jesus. And we in the black community, for the most part, except for the Muslims and a few other little isolated segments of our environment, we are still chasing Jesus. They had a thing in Harlem, 125th Street. They stopped everybody that came by and asked them who was the one that had the most influence in their life. And they had Marcus Garvey's picture there. They had Malcolm X's picture and Jesus in the middle. There were maybe 3 out of 100, over 100 people that all said, these 3 said Malcolm or Marcus Garvey. All the rest of the 100 and something,
Jesus. Wow.
Now, how can a black man have respect for himself, or the woman that has trained him to dislike himself that much until in public he will get down on his knees and profess his love for Jesus Christ and thinks that Jesus Christ is God, not even the Son of God, but thinks Jesus Christ is God. When I know for sure that a strong black man is the embodiment of God on this planet. So now how can the boy have anything but some kind of disrespect for somebody that disrespects him that deeply?
Damn.
From a child.
Damn. Bobby?
So I understand the plight of the black woman. She's gone through a lot. But you got to use your intelligence. How do you correct what you've gone through? It's not by taking your son and making a homosexual out of it. That's not the answer. Can never be the answer.
Bobby G?
My personal philosophy is I'll lick you till I lick you clean. Then I ain't gonna lick you no more. And that's where I'm coming from as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, I need you to get that.
I'm gonna try to treat people, male or female, with the same respect I want to be accorded. And when it comes to being kind to somebody, if they mistake that for a weakness, that's going to be a temporary condition. And that's why I am very firm on the fact that the men that I admire, they will give you an opportunity to present who they are and what they are about, and then I'm going to govern myself accordingly. And I want to just finish by saying this. When we talk about pimping and playing and those types of things, I ain't going to knock nobody's game, but I just look at it very simply that if a woman, matter of fact, I feel strongly about this. If a woman wants to sell her body and a brother benefits from that, as long as they have an understanding about that, then that's cool. But if it's done from a position where you have to take control over somebody's life to the extent where you come before their children, I got a problem.
Or themselves even.
No, I ain't worried about them. If they want to give up their life, that's their life. But if they're putting their children in peril to the point where there's no leadership, that's a problem.
Bishop.
Well, one thing you got to understand here, you know what I mean? When you say a woman giving up her kids, giving up her freedom, giving up this, one thing about it is in the pimp gang, and you know, people have took this name so literally where people saying I'm pimping my wife, pimping my job. You know, it have become just like y'all using Simp'n, a fashion statement. And everybody using it. You know a man ain't pimping his wife. You know a guy ain't pimping his job, because that ain't what pimping is. Just like you said in Simp'n, it's come from the pimp gang. It's a form of failure. Now you can say you're a failure as a man, you Simp'n. So y'all done took it and put it in like the book, the Torah Sawyer, where you can say different words that mean the same thing. So when you say Simp'n, it means you're a failure in what you're really trying to do. And for women, you know, different stroke for different folks. You got to understand that in this society, they don't have the same knowledge, the same teaching, the same understanding, the same way of survival, the same economics. It's a different style and a different form of life today. So women commit to men that they think strong, and women think pimps are strong because they're devoted to what they're all about. They say what they mean what they say. Women today figure men are weak because they don't say what they mean. They don't mean what they say. It's because, you know what I mean, they say things and they don't follow up on it today.
Wow.
Today you see more women working than you do men. Men's asking women for money than women's asking men for women to become so independent where they feel that they don't need a man. That's a weak female that a man haven't showed her what a man is all about. It's when you got a man that's showing you that he wants your money because you want his. Fast change ain't no robbery. What I do for you, you can do for me. And as a man, he's supposed to be the stronger vessel. He was put here to be the stronger vessel. Woman was taken from a man's rib to become a man's helpmate, and that's what she should be doing, trying to help some man be all he can be. Not run tell that.
They run tell that.
That's what's up.
I got a question, and I want to throw it out there really quickly. Because somebody on Twitter just told us here, this is Terrell Coleman. I guess this is at Terrell Coleman on Twitter. He says, I think for today, simping is equal to being thirsty. And the definition of thirsty is desperation, you know, trying to get with a girl, you know, doing whatever you can to appease her. You know, for me, let me just say this. You guys have said some pretty profound things.
Well, you know, like I said, people can throw out a lot of terminology for certain kind of word. But just like I said with pimping, if you ain't got a chick on the corner selling her body, then you ain't doing no pimping. You can send her to the strip club. You can send her to anywhere you want it. But if she ain't out there selling it between both draw legs, then you ain't pimping. And when you talk about simping, like I said, it's a form of lack of what you're supposed to be doing.
Wow.
And it's not being thirsty. Get you some water.
Get you some. When we come back, The Zoe What Morning Show is crazy right now. Nityama, Angela, Bobby, Bishop Don Juan, Geoff Brown, Mark Goulston is crazy. When we come back, I'm coming to Nityama and Angela. We really got to drill down on this. I think Simp'n as a concept, y'all can agree or disagree, I don't give a fuck. Simp'n as a concept in the black community is starting to turn into a disease that's going to lead to hatred of sisters. There's a lot of niggas out there who use Simp'n as the gateway drug to hate sisters. We're going to deal with it when we come back. Holla at me, 855-878-4652. I'll be back.
I really dig this subject today, and I believe this ties into it. I have a definition about what a player is. I've heard that word tossed around since I've been out here in LA for most of my adult life. After having grown up on the south side of Chicago around real hustlers, gangsters, pimps, and players, relatives of mine who are all of these. Ladies need to know so that players can stop having such a bad name. This is my definition. A player is a man who can be in a room at a social gathering or event and have a sexual relationship with two or more women who are at the same event. They may or may not all know each other, but they all know they ain't the only one, and they all good with it. One of them will come and bring his plate, another one will bring him something to drink, and ain't no fights. Now, if a woman is in a room with a man and another woman comes in and that man has to leave, he's not a player. That's a liar. Players don't lie. So that means to me, algebraically, simping is anything that you say or do outside of the absolute truth to get the favor or gain the favor of a woman. Anything you do outside of your principles, outside of what your personal truth is simping to me. And it's a bunch of it going on. And this comes from a man who is happily married to a black woman with black kids. This ain't coming from no other place. I love sisters. I love you dearly. But there is a bunch of propaganda going around about what you are entitled to because you were put here with ovaries. That's I don't subscribe to it. I am of the opinion that penis and vagina cancel one another out. Where are we now? What do you bring to the table now? And I directly attribute that to men who I saw grow up as I was growing up. Protect women, respect women, but more than that, they protected and respected their own manhood, and we call them players.
I'm going to dive in for a second. Something that Zoe talked about, Nityama talked about, and something that Bobby stands for, and what you spoke about is any time when you're not for real, you're simping. And
absolutely.
So I'd love people to weigh in, and even the ladies on the line. What does it mean to be for real?
You know how many you know how many fake motherfuckers I know?
Oh my God.
Let me and Doc, you just brought up something very profound, and I'm going to Nityama and Angela on this, as well as Veronica. Let me just say, if your house and your car is the magnet by which they come, they not magnetized by you. You a simp.
You're a human having, not a human being.
You're a human having, not a human being. Do you understand? If they're not intrinsically connected to what makes you unique in the universe, if it's about your car, if it's about your accoutrement, then you a simp, and you gotta lie. You gotta maintain a facade to even get them to even give you
behavior as the lie.
You feel me?
You're lacking in what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Then. If you're simping, it's whatever form that you're working in, whether it's a workplace, like you said, whether it's your car cleaning, if you're washing your car and you don't do it 100%, you're simping in what your duties as far as cleaning the car.
May I address the elephant in the room?
Go ahead.
There's an undertone and there's an understanding that nobody wants to touch here about this man to my right. That there are many people who do not agree with, do not respect the way you have come to know him. But what you can't say is that this dude ain't really who he is. Some of y'all laying down next to a dude that ain't nowhere near who he is. He ain't nowhere near. You don't have any idea who he actually is. And whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, this dude here has the testicular fortitude to go, look, this is my get down.
He's the truth.
He's the truth
about what he is.
About what he is. He ain't lying. He is not a leopard in a sheep suit.
I know a gang of $17.50 bill ass niggas.
Yeah.
You feel me? I know a gang of them.
1750s.
But see, this is why we bring a brother like this on the show, because at the end of the day, he gonna stand for what he stand for. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. But he gonna be the truth about it.
Hear ye, hear ye.
And that's what it's
from
about.
this point forward.
Bobby?
And the truth will set him free.
Well, it's about respect. And all I want to do is share my position from the vantage point of what's sustainable in our culture. There's always going to be people who do what they do, and if they 100 about it, it's what it is. But what does that do for our culture? Because the people that you're talking about that are imitating the game, they have created mass havoc in our community, because I've seen guys that didn't understand or have read Iceberg Slim's Pimp or Die. And that changed my whole. That was the time I was enamored with cats in my community that was getting that easy money.
Right.
But what people didn't see is the 24/7 of it. All right. You don't get to take no time off when you're controlling people's minds and their bodies.
Oh no.
And the other side of that is this. It's some pieces of that you shouldn't really want no part of. Because I knew this one brother, man. He came and snatched this girl out and told her, "Look, fuck your kids. Go get my money." And I'm like, if that's what he's doing, I ain't gonna never be able to do that. But I knew cats who wanted to play with that.
Wow.
And that's exactly what they did. They played with that and they wreaked havoc in my community. So if somebody's 100 with it, they 100 with it. But the people who think they can do that, they are a poor facsimile of that, and they cause tremendous damage in our community, man.
All right, listen, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue with the rest of the conversation. It's getting crazy. We're going to tear it up. We'll be back at 2.2.
Hey, guys. I wanted to discuss the reasons why black women are least likely to get married and be in relationships. Everybody kind of it's kind of common knowledge that out of every gender and race combination, black women are the least likely to get married and find love. So I wanted to kind of discuss the reasons why. So I talked to a few different guys to get their perspectives on what they think about black women and misconceptions that they have about black women. And I compiled a list of 8 reasons why men don't date black women, or misconceptions that they have about black women. First on the list was that they are inconsiderate. We are inconsiderate, I should say. A lot of guys that I have spoke with have said that they feel like black women are not considerate. They don't do sweet things for them. They don't text them good morning, just things like that. And I mean, I don't think this is accurate. I think there are a lot of black women, myself included, that are very sweet and considerate. But I feel like, yes, black women, a lot of us are very hard. And the reason that we are this way is because, I don't want to say society has made us this way, but black women have a lot to deal with. You know, being a minority, we are a double minority. Not only are we women, we are black women. You know, so we experience racism and sexism, while black men only experience racism, you know, and white women only experience sexism. We experience, you know, like both ends of the spectrum. So it's kind of like we, even back from slavery days, we have this hard exterior because society, we deal with a lot from society. So a lot of us are very hard. We're, like Lauryn Hill said, don't be a hard rock when you're a gem. That's what a lot of us black women are.
So which are you?
Listen, and during the break, you know, we talk, you know, listen, I do shows because I be wanting understanding. I want to know. I want to grow. I don't do shows because I think I know everything. I'm doing shows because I want to know and grow.
Right.
It's just that simple. That's why I bring in a diverse panel of people that can help me discern what's cracking. You know, because, you know, I don't understand myself. So Angela and Nityama are on. Angela.
Yes.
Help me to understand. And then I'm going to ask this to the whole panel. Does Simp'n negatively empower women?
Absolutely.
Angela?
I wouldn't say that it negatively empowers women necessarily. I think when I deal with relationships, I deal with it on a very mature level. You know, it takes two people to make a relationship work. Two people should be giving. I think that that's how it should be. If a man is going out of his way, doing things that are degrading himself, then he just needs to stop. I don't think that it's necessarily empowering a woman in any way, because you can't empower a woman while degrading a man. We're either all going to be uplifted or we're all going to be degraded.
Oh,
so
that's big.
I just think that men need to stand up and be men and claim that manhood. Stop making excuses. You know, a lot of times we blame women for everything, and then we say, well, the man's supposed to lead. Well, I mean, if you're supposed to be the leader, then lead. Do it, you know. A lot of us are sitting here waiting for that to happen, and we would love to see that day. So, no, I don't think that it's negative, that it's, you know, empowering a woman if you're simping. I don't think so.
And I don't think it's empowering women also either, because when you speak of simping, you're talking about weakness. Women want strength. They want power, and just like she was speaking of, women are waiting for men to be men. You know, like today, women have so many different options. If they man don't do right, they go to another woman. You know what I mean? Cry on her shoulder. If the man don't do right, they, you know what I mean? Used to be when a woman will stay there, she, you know, the police come, run you right off. You know, when normally the option was, let's work it out. I mean, there's so many outlets to make a woman feel that a man weak because she got them all them outlets, but it got to be strong men that come back and say they strong men, do what strong men do, say it's my way or no way.
Wow.
Yes, sir. I believe that. And the other thing.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, when I'm done. I'm gonna be an assertive man.
Right now.
Assertive man. I was speaking. I'm trying to cross the street.
We're gonna come right back to you, Angela.
Yes.
Right back.
Trying to cross the street. Cars keep coming. Now, with regard to men being assertive, especially black men need to get this, get their math right. Black women outnumber us 8.5 to 1. I am not going to lead you, dragging you, kicking with you, fighting with you. I'm not going to drag you across the finish line, because that means I'm going to come in last. I have to get a willing participant, and there are many sisters who want a leader but won't follow a nigga down the hall. So I think it has to do with everybody, every man, every woman, black. Unball your fists. Everybody trying to hold hands with their fist ball up. You're not gonna get
Do you think part of being a man is that you're standing for something other than having to be right?
Woo!
Yeah.
Woo. Damn!
Yes,
Damn!
Yes,
Angela, respond, please.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the question. What was that?
Say it again, Doc.
Do you think part of being a man is standing for something other than having to be right all the time?
That's heavy.
I think that being a man is standing for what is right, not necessarily having to be right. There's a difference.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
And before, I am not actually watching you guys, so I can't see who was talking, so I was not being disrespectful or trying to interrupt. I was just trying to correct something. that was said, because when I'm talking about strong men, I am in no way talking about men who would exploit women. I just want to make that crystal clear.
Right.
But yes, being a man is definitely standing on what's right, what's correct by our cultural standards, and being in tune with that.
Wow.
Somebody earlier was talking about religion and what a job Christianity has done, and I agree, but I don't see anybody bringing it back to our cultural center, which would be Asara Set and Haru, where there was a god and there was a goddess.
Come on. There was a balance.
So homosexualized.
Right.
And that's where our minds are now. We are not in touch with our own culture, and that's why we're falling.
Absolutely.
Well, what I think though, Angela, about women is you show me you different, then I teach you different, I treat you different. And one thing we just seen, the understanding about women, how women's always have to seem to get the last word. Even how you come back on the brother about what he was saying, that you had to get that in. We wasn't thinking about it anymore, but it was on your mind, and before you answer, you had to correct him. So that's the thing about strong men coming back, letting women know that they don't have the last word.
Nityama, do you want to jump in right now? We need that.
Did you catch that?
Well, first of all, this world that we live in, you're either pimping or being pimped.
That's it.
From the top all the way down to the bottom. Now, my question is, what is the ultimate goal of your pimping? See,
go ahead, man.
As far as, there are guerrilla pimps, and then there are sophisticated pimps. Now, if an individual saw how my life is and how my life is run, they would probably have to look at me and say, I am the ultimate pimp.
That pimp that's called PIMP, a player into making progress.
Go ahead. Nityama, go ahead. Finish.
Nityama, go on.
Where I'm coming from, I have women coming to me from all over the world. But my whole philosophy is, whatever I touch, I want to leave it better off than I found it. So therefore, I've gone into the depths of the psychology of a woman. Most women jump up and run out of the room from me because they say, you know women better than I know women, and I'm a woman. So, but my whole thing is, how do I raise the level of insanity that has been inbred into men and women, for that matter?
Absolutely.
And so I come in, and it's like, it's more of a sophisticated pimping.
Say more about sophisticated pimping.
No way when I have to chase around behind a woman to get her to do what she knows is right.
Come on, brother.
I want her to self-correct. So I create different systems in how I deal with women, so they never bring me anything unless they've already checked out whether it's even worth them bringing it to me at all.
Damn.
That's it. Damn. You don't come to the emperor willy-nilly.
Listen, somebody just joined the conversation right now. She's on the line. She wants to chime in. Veronica Conway. Veronica, I know you've been listening, and I know you have some strong views. Talk to us. Go in.
I've got some thoughts. See, I think we cannot. This whole conversation exists inside of our conditioning. And we're not separate from how we've been conditioned and trained. So there was a great book that came out a while ago, maybe 20 years ago, called Mississippi. And Mississippi was a book that talked about...
Are you in a lightsaber fight?
Go ahead, finish. We just hearing a little feedback, but just go ahead and finish. Turn your life down a little bit.
Okay, got it. Okay. So in Mississippi, they talked about this triangle that was cultivated between the white woman who was put on a pedestal, the black man who was a slave, and the white man, the lower income white man, they put on the slave patrol. With the landowner, the wealthy plantation owner and slave owner running that whole triangle, with the black woman as his mistress. So that is the way that he kept the white woman in check, the white poor man in check, and the black man and the black woman in check. And so it really comes down to conditioning. And so we can continue to accept the white man's view of us and continue to adapt it, meaning, black men ain't worth nothing and they belong in prison, and black women ain't nothing, we can continue to adopt that posture, that identity, that conditioning that was set up for us long ago, and we can peril without each other because they're that's really what's at stake. So, I'm always listening for how we dig in to our posture about this. I don't care what language we use to justify it. We have to understand that we don't operate outside of our conditioning. And so I think we have to make a new decision and a new choice about how we're going to view one another outside of what we've been programmed into.
Well, I think that's fair to say, Veronica, but I don't think we have, with regard to our conditioning, much choice other than to operate in this box and figure out how to get out of it. And certain things that are said about us is true. It's some niggas I know supposed to be in jail. It's some women I know that really ain't shit. What has to happen is the 5% of black people who will come into the knowledge that you are discussing need to congregate and work from there and allow that energy to grow. And I think the pervasive thought is that everyone can be saved, and I don't believe that's true.
Bobby?
We changing the language, seem like every 30, 60, 90 days, Simp'n this week and something else next week. But it's really fundamental. That which you seek purely in your heart is also seeking you. So if you kind of get caught up in all of these issues about conditioning and all of that, that's out of your control, whatever happened 200 years ago. I acknowledge all of that, and I don't ignore it. But I'm not going to be defined by that. At the core, you have to ask yourself, what kind of life do you want for yourself?
Right.
And at some point, once you start emitting that, that's what you're going to get back. But if you're sending out confusion, you're going to get confusion back.
Exactly. Nityama, wrap it up for me, man. Tell me, why is it that it seems like in our community, the simps and pimps and hoes and light skin and dark skin and love, hate, why does it have such a fucking terrible impact on us? Because I'm like y'all, we brothers, and I experience in our community, how can we get some of this sickness out of our lives?
Shut up, light skin.
Well, first of all, Zoe, we got to come back to basics. The essence, kind of like what Farrakhan was saying. The universe is set up in polarities. The male and female, the yin and yang. If you fail to understand these principles and how they work, then you're going to be in constant chaos. So, first of all, a woman is wanting a man to clarify her. A woman, her greatest desire is to serve a real man on this planet. There is nothing more satisfying to her than that. But now, I also got to look at myself as a man and determine, what do I even bring to the community? What do I bring to her? What do I bring to the children? What do I bring even to my fellow brothers? Because most of my fellow brothers, they are lost. They are so manipulated by women until it is ridiculous.
Yep.
So I have to be able to come and stand in front of them. Here's an 8-foot-tall brother talking about Jesus and his mama and stuff like he ain't nothing.
Damn.
That don't go across well for me. I want to see a man stand up and acknowledge that, hey, I'm a man on this planet representing that which I know to be real and true, and I really in no way care what anybody thinks about it.
Okay.
I will leave my life right here on the line right now for what I know to be real and true.
Wow.
So what it all comes down to, boils down to, is, you know what I mean, to clarify simping or pimping. I mean, either it's right or it's wrong. Either it's forward or it's backwards. It's just that simple.
Righteous.
You know, the ones in the universe.
And then when you're trying to instruct females today, you got to understand, females are used to being told what to do. When you don't tell them what to do, they run into destruction. Females are being told what to do from birth. Their mother and father tell them. Then their brother, as they grew up, their brother tell them. Then their boyfriend tell them. Then the teacher tell them at school. Then they get a job, their boss tell them. females are always being used to being told what to do. So when you don't give them instructions, they run into destruction. And
Yes.
what women are looking forward now is the men to take control. They have so many outlets where they can disrespect men now, run to the police and you know what I mean, do all kind of different things. So they got to get their self-respect back in order to get respect from different individuals. And as far as the pimping go, it's women that wants to be instructed. And like you said earlier, that you know where you're going with this pimping. Pimping is a foundation learned and laid to build an empire. And those that don't build empire is simping, because there's a certain form and a certain way to do all things. So if you're not doing it the proper way, then you are simping in your life, whether you're at work, whether you're pimping a female, whether it's your relationship. If it's not going forward, then it's going backwards.
Wow. When we come back, we got more questions. We got more information to share. This show is off the chain. We'll be back at 2.2 Zone Up Morning Show, T-Radio V. I'll holler in a second.
And then he said, let's get rid of those sons of bitches. I know that sounds awful coming from such high place. But look, what is he saying? See, if you are the son of a bitch, you are a dog. God said he made these creatures now, but did he make you a dog? Or who made you a dog? And they got this song, Who Let the Dogs Out? Who let the dogs out? When they drop a woman down to the position of a sex object and then take your clothes off of you so that men will see the beauty of your form and become sexually stimulated and aroused by the way you dress, you have made yourself a dog, and you're bringing the dog out of men.
Neck rolling and ghetto-fied woman. I don't identify to her. I don't know where that woman comes from. The one, and then they always like to bring up, you can't handle a strong black woman. First of all, I've never even said that my whole life. Never, not one time. So where does this rolling of the neck and ghetto-fied woman come from? I'm going to tell you where. Media. This woman, this kind of black woman, excuse me, little eyelash. This kind of black woman is constantly publicized all day, every day. This is the woman who you see on television, who you see in magazines, who you see on commercials, who you see everywhere. You don't see the type of woman who is educated and who knows how to act and who is cultured and all this other stuff. You see the circus clown, you see the monkey. So of course that in the media is telling you that's not attractive. So you're going to go out and get something in your case that you think is better.
Also, you hear that same subsect in the black male community that says not only are black women the enemy, they are a bunch of dumb bitches. I find that quite interesting because according to the Journal for Blacks in Higher Education, the JBE has consistently documented the fact that black women hold a large lead over black men in almost every facet of higher education. Black women currently earn about 2/3 of all African American bachelor's degree awards, 70% of all master's degrees, and more than 60% of all doctorates. Black women also hold a majority of all African American enrollments in law, medical, and dental schools. And I can verify this one. At NYU, when I was going to law school, the rate there was 15 black women for every black man.
Bobby?
You know, the statistics have really gotten out of control because they don't reflect the many myriad of possibilities for a productive life. It doesn't matter how many women are doctors or lawyers or whatever, because I know brothers that have made a tremendous living that never entered the halls of a college. And so sometimes these statistics, they paint a picture that is so out
skewed
of character in terms of what we define human beings as. If you are productive and in your own right successful, then all that other stuff is just in the way. Because I done seen people say, oh, I'm a PhD. Well, that's all right, but that doesn't make you a better person than anybody else. So we have to be real careful about these definitions of what success is.
My issue is what you're doing with it. Did you, how many of these sisters who have these degrees turn around and go, you know what? I'm going to charge my degree, my PhD, to our game as opposed to the game? How many of them do that? I have one that did that, but not very many. They use it as a shield to keep you away, and a lot of times will bring up the word degree in an argument when you're not talking about deodorant or the weather. So I don't get. I don't agree with that. I'm with you on that, with the skewing of the numbers. I don't see where it has any relevance.
Well, a lot of people with degrees are more destructive to themselves than they is to others.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They just too smart for themselves. You know what I mean? And just like I said, I'd rather be a jack of all trades, a master of none, than have a PhD in one thing. I want to know more than one thing to do anyway. So like you were saying, when they show them statistics about that range, that's all that they know, and then they probably hadn't participated. So like when you get people working with drug addicts, hey, you never been a drug addict? I mean, you never been associated in the ghetto? How you really know what cure I really need?
Wow.
You know, so like I said, when women today, they want instruction. They wanted to come back to that love and feeling. And you need it more so today than ever, because the females of today don't know love, so they don't know how to give love. Ooh. You know, they don't understand. I mean, kids today, you know, in our day, we was made to go to church, so you was going to get some of that love and feeling because it was forced on you. Today, they don't force their kids to go. They don't go themselves. So how can you expect to get the same understanding, the same love, the same feel that another
sense of community? Yeah. I see what he's talking about.
It's a different, strong, you got to go. It's different tactics today that you have to use with women.
Nityama, and then Angela.
Well, it's really important to realize that, first of all, being intellectual in no way means you're actually intelligent. And when you go into these colleges and you have people pour into you what they say you ought to know, and what you ought to be able to regurgitate, sometimes you sacrifice your intelligence for this learning. So some of the most respected folk with high education can be some of your most insane idiots. It does not necessarily make a person of character out of you because you go to college. And most of these people have been trained to have a one-track mind about whatever these people gave them. This is in no way allowing you to have the fortitude inside of yourself to stand on what you see through your own intelligence. And as far as women are concerned, excuse me, as far as women are concerned, they need instruction. I'm just like the brother. They need to be instructed on how to go about doing things, because this planet in no way educates a woman in real street sense. She doesn't have any street sense. You send her out there, the most educated woman is more apt to end up being on the street somewhere doing something for somebody, because she don't really understand the streets. She's totally naive about most things. So I say yes, they definitely need to be instructed. And I say yes, they need to be instructed on how to assist a man in building an empire that is going to sustain both him and her and the children and everybody in the community benefit.
And listen, no matter if she's helping to build a pimp's empire
or a plumber's empire,
or a spiritual guru's empire.
Exactly.
Her job is to manifest what the man's mental construct is.
His vision.
His vision.
Yes.
No matter what it is. And there is a polarity. There's positive and negative. Veronica and Angela, I need y'all to speak on what was just said.
And that is her purpose, to be here on earth.
Woo. I need y'all to speak on that. I need y'all to speak on that. Veronica, Angela?
I'm not either one of them, but I got to speak on this because it's something that...
Just gonna cut them off?
Yeah, I am.
No, Jeff.
Okay, well...
You just cut somebody off one time.
Anyone, so.
You don't hear anybody?
I don't.
As soon as you get a gift. Do we have them? Angela, go.
I'm here.
Go. And then Jeff.
Okay.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ, I didn't hear you.
Jeff saw that
some
spot.
of that, but from what I've heard, we were talking about women being the helpmeet for men. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree with that. Generally, whatever you give a woman, she's going to help you attain. If it's a good thing, she's going to make it better. If it's a bad thing, she's going to make it worse. But we do have to look at our own unique history because there are several times when men have dropped the ball that we've picked up the ball and run with it. So yes, do women need guidance? I appreciate guidance in my life, 100%. But I just am very cautious about it falling into this Europeanized thing where women are kind of weak and dumb and we're just completely dependent on men. We're not children. We definitely are there to help you do whatever you want to do. Unfortunately, like I said, sometimes that may be the wrong thing, but also we do have enough common sense to be able to build as well when needed.
Wow. Jeff, make your point and then we got to go to break.
Okay, a question. Maybe we can have the ladies answer this after the break. If you say that 2 times 5 is 10, and your man says 5 plus 5 is 10, with regard to a goal that you need to reach, who is right?
That's interesting. I see you, Jeff!
Who's right? I'll take the answer now or after the break.
We'll come back. We got to take this break. But before we go, Bishop had something to say. Just say it, Bishop.
Well, I just like what he said. You know what I mean? I believe the man is right because the lady should be following.
Woo! Oh, man, come on. All right, we're going to go to break and then we're going to come back.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Well, we're giving them some insight. So now they know. Now they know.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zo What Morning Show, as is commonplace, you know this is my final thought. And let me just say it. Simp'n equals falsity. A simp can get a woman to do things by way of what he has and not by way of who he is. Listen, if we just go by the basic template of society, I'm light-skinned, green eyes. I ain't never had to simp. I ain't never had to mac. I ain't never had to mac a girl down. They come to me. Why? Because society gave me a platform. Society said, oh, this little light-skinned green-eyed nigga is cute by default. Right? Throw in an 11-inch dick, rap game, basketball game, right? Throw in entrepreneurial skills. When I was 19, started my own bookstore, right? Kept it for 10 years, from 19 to 29. Oh, by the way, while I was working for Madonna and Loud Records and Maverick Records, I ain't never had to ask for no pussy. Have you ever imagined a man who just had so much that he got tired for stretches of time? I ain't never had to ask for it. You know why? Because God gave me divine confidence where I command the submission of a woman. And then, when I was 17, something happened in my spirit where I desired higher knowledge. Right? Higher knowledge took over. I started studying religion and culture. And I've been studying it ever since. So now, add in the social template, light skin, green eyes, 6 feet, 6'3", 200 pounds, with spiritual God shit behind him. Yeah, I ain't never had to ask for it because I've always been confident in who I am. And I've always been the truth of who I am. I ain't never lied to you about me. This is who the fuck I am. Complicated, complex, aggressive, angry, short-tempered, ill-tempered, intelligent, right? Thoughtful, considerate. I ain't never had to simp for it. It's always come. So when you deal with Zoe Williams, you're going to deal with the truth of Zoe Williams. Always, all the time. Right? So I always tell people, doing something for a woman that isn't in alignment with who you are is simping. If you're doing it to get something from her, if you're doing it to manipulate her, you are by definition a simp. To me. That's my definition. You're a simp. Because God men, not fraud men, but God men, open a woman's heart chakra, open a woman's spirit to where she goes, I know there's something beyond him that is in alignment with him, and I want to be a part of that. I don't respect no man that uses external accumulations to fish for women. You are a fisherman of women. You're not one who organically magnetizes a woman to say, there is God in him, and I want to build with that. I want some of the God in me. There's a lot of game players around here, dude, and I don't appreciate it. To me, pimp, colloquially speaking, can turn and learn from any situation presented to him. Life is about ebbs and flows. Pimps of all walks of life. There's no bigger pimp than the American government, by the way. Pimps of all walks of life go through times of difficulty, go through times of challenge. Sometimes they go through times where they high on the hog and eating all the fat they can. Sometimes there's lean times for pimps of all walks of life. One thing about Zoe Williams, whenever I've encountered a lean time, I've always recreated myself. Do you understand? I've always recreated myself. Whether it was making rap records in the 90s, whether it was doing cartoons and voiceovers and producing music for cartoons. A lot of them cartoons from the 90s was me. Music, voiceovers. Whether it was doing that, whether it was starting a business where we had a pager company when I was 19 and had it for 10 years with no prior knowledge of how to run a business. That's a pimp, right? That's a pimp. And I never used anything that I was able to put together in my life to say, look at me, baby. Come holler at me. She saw me fuck my purpose. And that's why she came to me organically. I ain't never got to beg. But I will protect. And you know what made me want to protect? 1999, December 17th. My daughter was born. That's what made me say, damn, man, the way you've treated women has been less than honorable. Now you're raising one. And the sickness in you that devalued women, right, has to be purged. I love sisters. I love the sisters I bring on my show. You might be uncomfortable about the fucking conversations we gonna have on this motherfucker. I'm gonna ask difficult questions, yep. Right? I'm gonna call you out. I'm gonna ask you to be accountable. But I love you. And I'm learning every day to respect you more. There was a movie called Roots. Do you remember the scene when Kunta Kinte came over and found another sister from his tribe? And she was called Fanta. Right? That was her name in Swahili, Fanta. He was Kunta Kinte, she was Fanta. But the moment she got raped and destroyed, right, by Massa, she became Maggie. And Kunta Kinte, remember the scene where Kunta gets his foot cut off? It's because he never forgot Fanta and escaped to the plantation where she was, trying to go save her. And she said, man, what the fuck are you doing here? He was like, Fanta, I came to get you. She said, no, don't call me Fanta, I'm Maggie. That's what Massa called me, I'm Maggie. When they get our sisters to buy into the system, and our sisters claim their designation that was given to them, that's when we lose our power. You know why? Because she's a plant that can create what we needed to create. Massa said, no, you're going to create what I want you to create. We got to come back to Fanta, Maggie. But the only way to do that is we got to pursue her like Kunta did. We got to show her that she's worthy of the pursuit. Now, don't pursue nobody that don't respect the pursuit. Don't pursue nobody that does not acknowledge the hell you got to go through to pursue her. You can only control what you can control. I don't believe in that simp shit. The coldest shit anybody ever told me was from my son. This is how I knew God was in me. My son said, Dad, I don't want you to talk to no other players that I play with, that I hoop with. I said, why? He said, because I don't want to give away my advantage. That let me know I'm a pimp. Because I got something that's worth more than all the little bullshit you can accumulate in your life. I'm Zoe Williams, and that's my final thought. Listen, let's do this quick. We got to promote. Bobby, where can they find you?
RealMenDon'tPlay.com. I'll be in Nashville, Murfreesboro next week, working with my homeboy Fred Woods. We're going after serving the veteran population, and I'm speaking at MTSU, my alma mater, next Wednesday in the Mass Communications Department, School of Journalism, about real men who don't play.
Geoff?
Look me up on MIPtags.com. MIPtags to find out where I'm going to be this weekend, or this Thursday. I will be at the Comedy Store. Crack 'em up Thursday.
What time?
8 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, this is the Bishop Don Magic Juan, chairman of the board of famous players everywhere. Just want to let y'all know I got a fragrance out called Juan in a Million. Also, I got CDs and I got my own lotion that I designed it. In case you want to get that, go to www.donjuanstore323. I got my life story book on that site. Also, March the 25th, make sure you tune in to Blackish. Just did an episode on that. I'll be heading to Memphis, Tennessee to host a ball at Club Rain. That's February 27th and 28th. I'll be in Chicago. Fellowshipping with my big brother. He's turning 70, so
let's do it.
Hey, tune in. I'm at the Don Juan Show every Friday night on rmconair.com. We have a live broadcast. You want your life changed? Tune in on Friday at 10:30.
Nityama, where can they get the DVD, big brother?
I still don't know. So
tinyurl.com/Nityama DVD. Nityama is Nityama DVD. tinyurl.com/Nityama DVD. That's where they get it, bro.
Okay, now I know.
I appreciate you, brother. You know I got deep love for you, man. I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
Same here.
Angela, where can they get you?
You can find me at authorangela.freeman.com. You can also see archives of my old program, Message to the Black Fam, on YouTube. Just look up Angela Freeman.
Awesome, awesome. Veronica! Veronica!
Yes, sir.
Where can they get you? Real quick.
Theblackpaper.com, blackmastery.com.
Yo, you get Zoe Williams at Zoe Williams on Twitter. You get Zoe Williams at Mr. Zoe What on Instagram. You get Zoe Williams, IamZoeWilliams.com. But I really need y'all to go to that Indiegogo page. Come on, man. We about to put together an incredible documentary on the child support system called Pay-Per-View. An in-depth look into the family court manipulation of black men. It's a cold game. Y'all got to get at us. So what? I see you next week. Holla.